true stories of a veterinarian and rodeo family that will induce belly laughs. This is the Ranch Girl Reads podcast for ranch gals who want to read stories that capture the realities of life outside the city limits. Many books are either unrealistic Western romances or action packed adventures that aren't rooted in what real life is like. You want fresh stories without spending hours sifting through ones that don't fit the bill. I've been there. I'm here to introduce you to stories you can put on your backlist to share with your friends. I'm your host, Sequoyah Branham, author of award winning contemporary fiction In the Company of Cows and In Between Pastures. For today, let's dive into Never Dull by Heather Sharp. This book is a tribute to the author's remarkable family and the legends of the rodeo world. The reader does not have to be a horse person to enjoy this book. The setting is in the rodeo arena, but the life lessons apply to all of us, such as put God first, you can do anything, be honest, laugh at yourself, stand up for what you believe, attitude is everything, you're never too old, there's no such thing as easy money, stand by your man, enjoy the moment, and know what is important. Heather does a wonderful job of gathering stories of her family from multiple points of view in a way that really come together in a way that makes the story so much funnier. She tells the story from her mom's perspective, and then it might involve her uncle, and she goes and has a little snippet from him actually sharing the story with Heather. And it just comes together really, really well, really fun. This is a collection of stories, so they're perfect to grab up and read one or two at a time or sit down and binge the whole thing in a couple of settings. I've had the privilege of having Heather as a friend, and I've gotten to spend a few chunks of time with her. And knowing Heather and her personality makes all of these stories feel that much truer. Can just see, even though some of them are wild and are one of the things, something that gets said throughout the book is you just can't make this stuff up. And while the stories are a little out there sometimes, like I was saying, just knowing Heather, it's like, yes, that absolutely, could have been something that happened to her and her family, even though that she's the only one of her family that I know. Um, so it's just a really fun collection of stories. My younger sister has read the book 4 or 5 times now, if not more. So, that's something. I've enjoyed it myself and, just really enjoy the way that it helps take the stress off. I feel like it's a really unique collection as Heather's dad was a veterinarian, and I feel like veterinarians just have the best stories all the time, forever. I've enjoyed several collections of stories from other veterinarians, and might review them on the podcast here sometime. But so there's that element of stories of just things that are hilarious that have to do with the animal world, and then her mom ran barrels, was in the rodeo world, and there's going to be stories that come out of that, but I feel like what makes those stories just so much better, um, is the person that Marion Sharp, Heather's mom, was. Just I feel like I know her just from reading these stories and how vibrantly she comes to life. Heather does such a good job of really just showing us who each of her parents are. And in the midst of the funny stories and the maybe a little wild things that, we not might not envision happening to someone right away, you also get a glimpse into seeing who Heather's parents are, for one another. And even though they are both pursuing, a little bit different things, and even though they're such characters on their own, we do get glimpses of what their marriage and how they supported one another, and I think that's really, really sweet and really grounding of the story. It helps it feel that much more like real life, because we love the a little bit wild moments that, keep life funny, keep life interesting, and it's so nice to take that weight off and just laugh at the story. But at the same time, we know that that was not every single moment of their life, and so getting to see a little bit of those, um, more everyday moments in those stories was really refreshing as well. Um, yeah. So, Heather Sharp has done an amazing job with Never Dull. My one tiny piece of criticism, which kind of also comes into the comments on the production. I've only read this book in paperback, and there are a few formatting things that would be nice to have cleared up. And just where there are bits and pieces from where Heather adds in, like I was saying, like her uncle's point of view from a story or someone else's. The formatting just gets a little bit funky there. It ultimately does not affect the reading experience, but it is just something that kind of is more eye appealing. I have her Tale of a Second Edition sometime in the future, so I feel sure that Heather will have it cleaned up and just that much more full. Um, in that, so be on the lookout for a second edition. Um, there's an ebook and audiobook version of Never Dull as well. As I said, I've only read the paperback, so I've not read or listened to them, but I trust that um, they are quality as well. Yeah. So, this collection of stories can be enjoyed by a wide range of readers men, women, even younger readers. There are a few stories that involve ladies without clothes on. However, that's all the description that's given, and they're hilarious. So, that's actually one of the ways that my sister caught my attention with the story. She was telling about the story that she had just read, and I was just like, I have to know the entire context around this and just everything that goes with it. So, I picked it up and started reading it myself. I'd had the book for a while, but just one of those things where you can have a whole list of books and even physically right there in front of you, and you can only read a few at a time. And so something has to wait until you finish a few others. So, um, yeah, I'm glad I did jump in and read it though. So now for a small little snippet from this book to give you a taste of what it's about. The definition of heart is hard to explain. If they have heart, they have desire or drive. Heart means they will keep going when other people quit, and they think about it getting better. I guess it is similar to hunger. It is burning in your belly that can't be put out. Your circumstances do not define who you are. That is more of the soulful part of these stories. That, as it mentioned in the description, there's so many life lessons and just really grounding comments and statements and themes that are woven in amongst the joy and the laughter. So it's the perfect combination of all of that put together. Um, I do want to mention as well that Heather and I got to celebrate being Will Roger medallion winners the same time. So we went to the ceremony for that October of last year. So that would be 2024. So Never Dull is a Will Rogers medallion winner among other awards as well. So it has been enjoyed by many, and you will not regret picking it up. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts and send this episode to a friend. Word of mouth is the top way that both podcasts and books reach new people to enjoy them. And for a bite sized introduction to a story set deep in the ranching lifestyle of West Texas, hop on over to my website for your free first chapter of In the Company of Cows. And I will have that link as well as a link to grab your own copy of Never Dull in the description of this episode. For a little bit nugget of what has been going on in my life, November has been a busy month for us over here. My husband and I are both November birthdays, plus the WRCA Ranch Rodeo Finals is an event that we always look forward to also this month in November. And of course, there's Thanksgiving to wrap it all up. It's been busy and very, very good all at the same time. But it does make it's a little bit challenging to get some of the regular things done. Um, but it's a price I will pay to get to spend that extra time with our people and, celebrate everything. I have been practicing resting in pockets of time so that I have a social battery for some of these things and letting go of things that don't have to be done right now. Finding time to work on my novel rewrite has taken a lot of intentionality, and that has been one of the things that I've had to be a little bit looser on my deadline than I part of me wants to be, but I do really want to enjoy this season, and that's more important to me than crashing through these edits. And I still believe that I can keep on track and to get them done when I need to. So, prayers for that appreciated. Thankfully, my deadline is a little bit flexible. I'm really thankful for the support I have around me, that my laptop is portable, and the help of my marketing assistant that takes a few tasks off my plate. Also, for planning ahead. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, rest of November, and as we roll into December. Um, yeah, so glad that you joined me. Until next time.